Hello, everybody. DM Needs More Dragons here, coming to you with another episode of the Tower of Voh, my homebrew world game that we play with these wonderful, fine folks here on the channel. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out this evening or on the VOD to check us out. And I need to mute that because I'm awesome. That's muted. Perfect. Anyways, yes, thank you guys for coming out and checking us out. We really appreciate it. So I'm going to go around the room, give everybody a chance to introduce themselves, and we will go from there. Let me start to my left, and the absolutely gorgeous Breton.
My name is Eric, and I'll be playing your half-elven, wonderful rogue, Breton. It is my delight and pleasure to confuse all of you.
Yes, we do love that very much, don't we? And might I say, your eyes and your lips look chef's kiss this evening.
Well, of course, it takes an entire team to get this ready.
Right. To my right, we have the wonderful Miss Winterwolf. Go ahead and introduce yourself this evening, please.
I'm sorry, I lost you for a second.
Oh, go ahead and introduce yourself this evening, if you would, please.
I'm Lisa, D&D Winterwolf on TikTok. I play Lady Icaria Larethian, an Eldrin Elf Ranger.
All right, perfect.
Welcome.
Certainly, right here below me, we have this beautiful East Coaster. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Seth, if you would.
I'm Seth. I'm playing Felice, who's an Aasimar paladin. I don't really do socials, but I'm Nexian everywhere. I hate to be upshown in this makeup game tonight, but that's, I can let it slide this time, I guess.
There will be a battle of the makeups next time. We will definitely have a pre-planned session for this so that we are more prepared. As a matter of fact, if we have this pre-planned session, I just might do something as well.
Makeup stream.
Right. And surely, last but not least, the wonderful Mr. Joe. Take it away, Joe.
I'm Joe. I'm playing Orzan, the dragon cleric. The rest of the party insists on calling him Scaled. He's not quite warmed up to it yet.
There is definitely
we'll come around.
There is definitely that. So, again, thank you all for coming tonight to watch the stream. We really do appreciate you coming by. So, without further ado, we will give a quick recap of what happened in our last session, which has been just a little while ago, but none the least. So, the Tower of Voh is a setting in which long ago some betrayer gods decided that it would be a cruel and wonderful joke to create a world within a black obsidian gem. And inside this black obsidian gem, they put two so-called demigods that were born of a mother and father within the pantheon, within my greater world that we have not seen yet, but maybe down the road. Wink, wink. These two demigods were known as Thalen and Vormir. Thalen being the more lawful and good deity, and Vormir being the asshole dark brother. These two were pitted against each other inside of this sphere and given domain over very specific things within inside this gem. Basically, the object of the Betrayer Gods game was whoever could meet the requirements by the end of a undetermined amount of time would be set free from the gem, and returned and placed in the pantheon of gods to rule over the domain in which they were given. It has come to pass over the last approximately 10,000 years that Vormir is on the edge of winning this battle, as no group of adventurers who has been locked away inside this gem has ever bested the Tower of Voh, which is the tower in which this game resides. However, this group of adventurers, with the full faith and confidence of Thalen himself, has done a marvelous job so far. Even though they have just begun, there is much promise in this group. And Vormir knows this, and he's not happy about it. And so tonight we continue into the jungle. The crew had made their way into a vastly enormous forest with all manner of trees. Think redwood forest style trunks with vines and moss and all kinds of amazing things, creatures far and wide, insects of all kinds. Basically a rainforest of fauna and flora inside of this space. They eventually had made their way to a path which they found after trekking for some time, and happened upon a very strange and peculiar, kind of disheveled and deformed old man who...
And the Shark River.
Oh, yes, and the Shark River. Yes, yes. I forgot about the Shark River. Thank you for bringing that up. After traversing the Shark River, they found the old man in his path. And down this path to this house where this man stays, there's all of these little offshoots for this statuary that he's made. These shrines, these little outcroppings of Salvador Dali-esque kind of sculptures. They just kind of droop and hang, and just different weird, odd things that you would never think go together. And when you arrived at his place after catching him in a very peculiar but not really hidden place in the trees, he offered you a place to stay, and he offered to take you to the mines where the Great Green One sleeps. And that is where we're going to pick up the game tonight, with Dropshank having just offered you guys a place to stay. The sun has set. It is starting to become dark, and a lot of you are standing in front of this disheveled and very oddly thrown together home of some kind. So
We all drank this guy's weird tea, right? That's where we're at.
yes, you all had drank the tea, and if I remember correctly, that was...
I think we were asleep.
I think you had gone to sleep. You drank the tea. You went to sleep, and that's basically where we left off. It's been a little over a month since we played, so do forgive my fuzzy brain. So
You good?
that is where we will pick up you guys throughout the night. As you're sleeping, each one of you will wake up at any given point in the night, just one time, and each one of you will witness Dropshank sitting at the table next to his fireplace, feverishly scribbling in a book. Just, he'll see each time somebody wakes up, he'll just be like, "Oh, do you need anything?" And then as he cycles through whatever your need is or no need, and you go back to sleep, he goes back to his book, writing in his book. So the night goes by without really too much oddities or anything aside from that. And
I'd consider that an oddity, yeah.
other than that. And you wake up the next morning and you feel more refreshed than you feel when you wake up inside of the Obtuse Owl.
Awesome.
You feel just like invigorated for the day. And you're not real sure what kind of herbal concoction old Dropshank has in this tea, but he should market this shit because it's amazing. So, you guys wake up. He is cooking something in a pot over the fire. And he notices you guys, waking up for the day, and he's like, "Oh, hi, yes, good morning, good morning, breakfast."
I could eat. We didn't die drinking this guy's tea, so I mean, how bad can breakfast be?
Oh, you know, die. My tea is perfect. You feel better today, don't you?
Warzan wants
Gotta
more of
concede
that
that.
Amazingly,
tea.
yes.
Roseanne wants more tea. I can do that. And he sets out plates with picture a plate with a salad bowl like sitting on top of it, like at a restaurant or something like that. If you were gonna get a salad, and he just brings this big pot. He lifts it off the hook and brings it over. He's got this old decrepit looking ladle, and he scoops it. It's like into each of your bowls as he walks around the table. He goes back to the hook and sets it, and clank, pushes it back over the fire. He goes over to his little tea set, Vorzan, and he you see him mixing this little tincture of something, and he's like, "It'll be just a few minutes. I just gotta heat some water." And he takes it over and he hooks it on another hook over by the fire, and he's sitting there staring at it, waiting for it to boil.
So what does it look like, whatever he put into these bowls?
It's loosely kind of like I would picture it as kind of like almost beef stew looking, roughly.
It's food in quotation marks.
It is food in quotation marks. That is exactly right. It's fantastic, I think. So,
Well, it'd be shitty to die on an empty stomach, so yeah, also going in.
all right. Hang on just a second. Yeah, it's honestly really, really good. It's got hints of like a beef stew with almost kind of like a breakfast flavor, like sausage to it. It's just this like very hearty, earthy morning stew essentially. It's really nice. The tea kettle over the fire starts to whistle, and he snatches it like lightning off of there, and he runs over to his tea set, and he looks over at Vorzan and goes, I'll be right there. He pours a whole tea tray full of cups, and he puts these little pouches in each one, and he brings it over and he sets a cup down in front of each of you. Even if you didn't ask for it, he's going to give it to you anyways. And he's going to say to you, now, make sure that you don't have any more tea today, okay? No more, just one.
Warzan just kind of
Just one.
disappointingly. Just disappointed.
Is this like energy drinks where you're like not supposed to have 3 a day, but if you have 6 a day, it's fine.
I mean, this could be Dropshank's version of Monster. You never know. Could be, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If there's anything I know, it's substance abuse.
Still a little called out.
Right there.
So, Dropshank, thank you for your hospitality again. Have you met other travelers?
He looks at you and he's like, "Oh yes. There's been many travelers come through here. Yes."
And do you know what happened to them?
Nope.
Okay, fair enough.
I just take them to where they need to go. And then they never come back. Then they never come back.
How do you know where we need to go? As an informant.
There's only one way out. And it's
what if I want to stay here with the tea and the stew? The rest of the shit sucks. It's cold out there. There are giants.
I mean, I would love company. I've been here for forever.
I mean, too bad the professor's not here. If it's good food, he would.
Yeah, he would definitely stay here.
So the professor is sitting kind of over in his chair, but kind of more towards the fireplace, and he's like deep in thought, looking at some sort of metal contraption that he's pulled out of his bag, and he's got like the doctor's reflector thing like over his head, and he's got little spectacles, and he's got them pulled way down on his nose, and he's like tinkering with something, and he's like, "What? Food? Where?" I was so busy doing what I was doing. And he like puts it all away and then stuffs it back into his bag. He's like, "Food?" And he comes over to the table and he sits down unexpectedly with like his fork and knife at the edge of the table. And Dropshank's like, "Oh my God, somebody else wants food." And he runs over to the pot and yanks it off, and he's like waddling over to him. He like takes the big ladle and the professor watches it, and he looks down, he looks at him, he looks down, he looks at him, he's like, "Eh." And he just starts eating it. And Dropshank looks absolutely elated that people are sitting at his table eating and drinking his food and his drink. Like over the moon. He puts the pot back on the fire, and he comes back over and he looks at Lady Akari again, and he's like, "Oh yes, there's been many people. Many people come through here. Not many treat me so well."
I mean, it's to be expected. You're kind of fucking creepy.
He's gonna look at you, and he's gonna look at you, and he's gonna be like,
"But he makes good tea."
I guess
you got a vibe, dude.
I guess I had that coming, you know.
To be fair, I'm coming around. I the tea helps.
But I do make really good tea. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That is true.
So, when we're done, I will show you where we need to go. Oh yes, I will take you there. It is a bit of a travel, he says, and you kind of get the hint that it's probably going to be a full day's travel to wherever it is that you're going.
And who were we meeting at the end of this journey again?
Oh, the Great Green One.
Can you tell us anything about the Great Green One?
Nope, never seen him. Breton, you're muted.
Well, if our luck holds out, it's going to be a dragon.
There are other green things.
I've never known it to be a dragon, but maybe it could be. I don't really know.
Could be a really cool, chill tree.
It could definitely be a tree. We have lots of those here. Yep, lots of trees. So, if anybody doesn't need anything right this second, I'm going to go finish cleaning up and get my pack, and we'll be ready to go.
I guess I'm good.
Do you need some help?
Oh, thank you, but I can manage.
I like him.
I'll go say my morning prayers. prepare my spell.
Sounds good. And he will disappear kind of just off into different corners of his house, cleaning stuff up and putting random objects into a bag. Like he grabs a frying pan, and he grabs like a rolling pin and some cups and some kind of crazy looking like lopping shears thing. And he just puts all kinds of random shit into a bag.
Cool. We got a road chef.
Probably.
I don't know where my horse is at, has been, but I guess I'm gonna go spend the 5 minutes or whatever it takes to call the horse outside. Because I imagine homie don't walk so well. He's gonna need a ride.
Very possible. He for the decrepit, crazy looking person that he is, he weirdly gets around the house pretty well.
He's one of those old guys that works at REI. It's like been climbing mountains since he was 12 years old.
That's exactly this guy. He is nuttier than fucking a $3 squirrel, but he's something. So, after I don't know, probably a half hour or so, he'll be ready to go. So, is there anything that anybody would like to do in preparation during this time? I know Vorzan's gonna go say his morning prayers. Could you maybe take us and walk us through what that would look like for you, or how you would set up your ritual to speak to Saloon herself, or their self?
I'd probably just get a private area and just down on my knees and pray to her.
Okay.
Seek her guidance on what the future, like, to prepare me and accept, bless me the day. Yeah.
Could you
See
make
what
me
spell she bestows upon me?
Could you make me a wisdom check, please? Just roll your d20 and add your wisdom modifier, please. 10? 1 0? Okay.
I rolled a 7, yeah.
Okay. You are in your position of comfort for your ritual and your prayers, and you feel this ever so faint warmth kind of envelop you, and you get the sense that she has received your prayers. But there's not really a ton of like returned connection within that moment. It's just more of a what's the word I'm looking for? A recognition of your devoutness to her.
Got the read receipt with no reply.
Oof.
Right.
Left me on red.
Left undelivered, yeah.
Yeah. Whoops. Yeah. We'll be back tomorrow. I left the note on the door.
Today on Loveline.
Rejection of our gods and the dealings within.
Vorzan, can she actually hear you? I mean, it appears to be daytime. You worship the moon.
I worship the Lady of the Moon.
And does she traipse about during the day?
Of course, she's a god.
That's fair.
Well, hello, day moon goddess.
Just because she's the goddess of the moon and stars, just because you cannot see them there. Behind the blue.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, Thalisa, is there anything in particular that you do while you are summoning your horse, or is it just you spending the time to cast your spell?
Yeah, I think it's just like a channeling thing. I'm not entirely sure. I think it says it in the description somewhere.
No worries.
but it's not particularly exciting.
Okay. You're just out there kicking the dirt and saying, "Where's my fucking horse?"
Yeah, come here, ass face.
Come on,
Yeah,
damn it. Here. Where are you? Come here, Lucky. Come here.
yeah, yeah. It just shows up.
Gotcha.
As a horse to talk
Lady
to.
Ikaria, is there anything that you would like to do before our journey begins this morning?
Nope, just kind of squaring my gear away.
Okay. All right. Lady Ikaria, you while you're looking over your weapons and making sure your pack and everything is in good working order, you find a single silvery white flower kind of tucked into the lid of your pack, kind of like over the, just tucked in there, like somebody just stuck it right in there. That's it.
Do I recognize it? What kind of flower it is, or significance of it, or
you could do a nature check, or you could do a religion check for me if you would.
that would be a 23
For nature or religion?
nature.
Nature, okay. You've been privy, because of your station, to probably read a fair amount of books in your day, or at least have been through schooling and things of that nature. You would know this to be something similar to a moon blossom. And they come from a
I'll
very...
just kind of glance. Go ahead. Sorry.
They come from a very specific place.
Which is?
The moon.
You only find them in the gardens around the temples of Saloon.
I will show this to Felice.
It's pretty. I don't know anything about it.
I will show it to. I can't remember your name, and your character's name, and I'm so sorry.
Vorzan?
Yes.
And what kind of flowers were they again?
Vorzan, you'll immediately know this. So, outside of any temple or shrine to Saloon in my world, or in this world, grow these flowers. It's called a moon blossom.
Where did you find them?
It was tucked under the flap of my pack.
I will say this is a great blessing. Saloon is with you. Rejoice.
Well, thank her for me.
I will.
All right.
But you can thank her as well.
I certainly will. I'm very confused.
And as you finish your conversation, Dropshank
Vorzan
comes
seems
in.
happy for you, but also like a little bit jealous.
Oh yeah, miffed. You got snubbed. The
But he doesn't want to show it. He doesn't want to say it. He would never.
She had a pack of cigarettes lying around.
No. As you guys finish your conversation, Dropshank is at the door, and he is ready to go. Picture him.
Well, I will. Go ahead. All right, keep doing that.
Picture a decrepit old dude with a mountain aria climbing backpack full of stuff, and you can see out of the lid of the backpack there's like, you see the handle of the frying pan, and you see the tip of the rolling pin, and like he is ready for this adventure like he hadn't gone outside in years.
You.
He is so excited.
I will tuck this flower into my hair and gather up my stuff.
Very good. So as you guys leave the immediate surroundings of Dropshank's place, you link up with a path, and the path is similar in size to the one that you traversed down. It's a very well packed, kind of a dark colored, earthy color. The trees they rise endlessly up around you, and they disappear into the bright sunlight, into the canopy. The birds, just all manner of birds and song around you. It's a very vibrant and warm and inviting kind of feeling. You don't feel, in this particular place, you don't feel lonely or scared or anything like that. It's kind of a nice change of pace.
Jeez, it almost make you forget you're stuck in a goddamn gem prison.
It almost makes you feel like you're somewhere else, doesn't it?
Like, this isn't so bad.
Last time we thought it wasn't so bad, there was goddamn vampires, so maybe we reel it in a little bit.
Maybe so. So you guys
Hey, y'all are the ones that sold your soul to him. I didn't.
I didn't sell my soul, just the soul that I happen to have.
That's fair enough. All right, so you guys
sell mine. I got credit for it.
Hey, for a favor to yet be determined. All right, so you guys make your way with Dropshank, and an hour goes by, then 2 hours goes by, and nothing crazy. It's just changing scenery as the path goes to and fro, and kind of up some hills and down to little valleys and things like that, and you see little squirrels and different things come chittering across the path. But eventually, after about 3 to 3.5 hours, you come to where the woods just stops in front of you, and you look to the right, and you see the path continue kind of down and around a corner to the right. And you look to the left, and you see a path kind of curving to the left and disappearing out of sight. And Dropshank is standing at the mouth of this intersection, and he's just standing there. And he looks to the right, and he scratches his head, and he looks to the left, and he scratches his head, and he's like,
"Oh no!"
He's got his hand on his chin. He's like,
Only one way out, huh?
Gills will walk up to him and say, you seem to be at loss for decision.
Yes, it's been a really long time since I've been here. I'm having troubles remembering which way I went the last time I was here. Perhaps you could help me.
How can we help?
We need to pick a direction. I'm not sure which way I went the last time.
I will cast.
How long ago was it?
500 years?
No tracks gonna be left. Sorry.
I'll cast guidance on him. Like perhaps this will help you in your decision making.
Fair enough.
When you were here
Best I got for you.
When you were here last, are you sure that it was a left or a right and nothing else?
The best I can remember it, we went a direction. I just can't remember which one it is.
Well, that leaves us with...
Do you remember what is at the end of the wrong path?
No, silly, because I went the right way.
The great red one.
The great red one.
There it is. You said you went the right way.
He's got a point.
After a minute of scratching his head and Vorzan giving him this warm, glowing feeling of the guidance, he is very confident that the right-hand path is the correct path. He seems pretty exuberant about it.
You see? There you go.
I do believe it's this way.
It's a 50-50 chance.
They could lead to the same thing. It could just be like a...
What could possibly go
like
wrong?
100 yards. Only everything.
With our luck?
What could possibly go wrong?
In my experience, nothing.
Right. Except for
Nothing ever goes wrong.
Except for face planting on things.
See, don't make me climb anything, and we'll be fine.
No treehouse living for you today? Is that what we're saying?
No, firmly on the ground until I see a thing I want to vault onto.
Firmly on the ground. I like it. All right. So you guys, are you gonna take his suggestion and go to the right, or what are we doing?
I think the last thing we should do is split up. So probably.
It's fair.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have any. We don't know. We really don't know what could go wrong. So there's nothing to be afraid of if you don't know what's going to happen anyway.
It's true. Live by the seat of your pants, eh?
Hell yeah.
Might as well go to the right.
Yeah.
So, as you guys begin to turn to the right, and you take about, I don't know, a handful of steps, the professor is going to reach up and touch Thalise on the calf, because he's walking and you're on a horse. So he just kind of reaches up and kind of just taps you on the calf. He's like, I really think this is the wrong way. I'm 100% sure this is the wrong way. We should be going that way.
Do you have any backup for this opinion?
He's going to walk over. He's going to stop you, and he's going to walk over to the path. And he's going to point at the ground. And it perfectly imprinted as a set of tracks. Humanoid in nature, exactly the same size as Dropshank, that lead to the left.
So there are tracks after 500 years.
There are.
Oh.
He also rolled a natural 20 for his insight check.
All right, well, Tiny Man has a pretty good point here.
Sorry, the ranger missed that.
Can't win them all. I should also be able to climb on things very easily.
Also, it is with sadness that we say that our wonderful friend Will, DM Halfling Wizard, was not able to join us this evening for some personal reasons, but hopefully he will return. So I will be playing Professor Ekno Fairweather this evening, and I will try to do it justice. So
The good news is he got your dice to roll a 20, which never happens.
He 100% just got the dice that does not roll natural 20s or well at all to roll a natural 20. So, good on you.
The dice that on several occasions has not been able to use my character to kill anyone. Well, one time.
So, would you consider this to be a forest terrain?
It is absolutely forest terrain.
Okay, so I want to look at these tracks.
Okay.
Because I can determine the exact number, size, and how long ago they passed through this area.
There's a set of 6 footprints. There's ones that match directly up to your friend. And then there are a grouping of 5 that are of various size. They're all humanoid in nature. One of the sets of footprints is fairly large and looks like it depresses into the ground quite a ways, and you would know that is like a half giant or something of that nature.
Okay.
Very, very large individual.
That's a big bitch.
That is a big bitch. Correct.
And exactly how long ago did they pass through?
500 years.
Wow.
Time is strange here, friend. Time is strange here.
It could have been us.
The world may never know. So, you're on the left path. Dropshank's like, you are so right. I did go left. Gods, what's going on? Left you go. What would you like to do?
Keep an eye on our CIA informant.
They went left and they never came back. But if Dropshank's tracks are here, then why don't we have his tracks coming back towards us?
I don't know. I don't know.
Don't love this. Don't love the fact that this old man might be able to fly.
You very well might be able to. You never know.
He could just be a goddamn dragon. It's happened to me before. Just saying.
I never, ever play dragons in my games with you, Seth. Come on. That never happens.
Nope.
Who is supposed to believe you when your handle needs more dragon?
That's because they don't have any dragons.
That is completely and utterly blasphemy. Come on.
Except that the way I look at your games is the idea of an alcoholic. 1 beer is too many, and 1,000 is never enough.
Precisely. You should always think of it just like that. I mean, for God's sakes, the Lisa's patron is a fucking ancient golden dragon. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. Anyways, back to the game. So you guys go for about an hour down the left path, and you start to notice that the light that's coming through the canopy, while the sun is still there, it doesn't feel like it's penetrating like as vibrantly as it was before. And you notice that the tree coloration is not as vibrant as it was. The greens and the browns and everything, felt full of life and just, exuded this very healthy forest type feel. Whereas in this, the further you go down this left-sided path, it feels different. And there's less. There's less birds, and there's less like insect type noises and stuff like that. So it's not grossly awful or different, but it is definitely it's noticeable without having to make a check, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's getting spooky.
It's spooky season. And as you go about another 30 minutes or so, the path kind of like winds a little bit to the right, and it crests between two impossibly large trees. Like you could drive 2 or 3 carts side by side through the trunk of this tree. They're that big. And as it winds up and over the hill and around through the trees and back down again, I need all of you to make a perception check for me, please.
First roll of the night. How could this go poorly?
Oh, but it's perfect. Don't worry.
Ooh, 15.
Oh God.
15.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Solid 1.
Nice.
Our perceptive ranger tonight.
You are so
Oh, yeah.
very perceptive.
I'm still trying to figure out who put the flower in the apparently.
All right.
We got Borzan got a 7.
7. All right. So are we leading at a 15?
19.
19. All right. So with a 19,
Thank God.
you're 19 and you're 15. You look down the path and you see the trees and the vines and the moss and everything. It's starting to close in over the path, right? So it's kind of like looking at that like that country walk that you could take where you're like the road goes between where the trees just kind of like, encompass the road. And that's kind of the way it's almost tunnel-like, but not tunnel-like. But at the end of it, you see this single beam of light coming down through the canopy into this like clearing right into the middle. And in the middle of this is a big green patch of fluffy green grass.
An ominous clearing.
Did you say green grass or green rat?
Grass, like
Okay.
Grass.
I was like,
grass.
we're all being pretty calm about this.
Green rats, yes, they're forest rats. Yeah.
They all come together and create one big green thing.
Yeah, the great green one. It's just a rat king.
Yeah,
They're all tied together.
Hey, if you play League of Legends, it's Twitch.
Yeah, sewer rat guy.
Right. All right. So, what would you guys like to do, having visualized this?
I have been stealth since we first found the footprints on the right side of the trail.
Okay. What was yours?
23.
23 for your stealth roll. Okay, you feel sufficiently hidden.
So the grass covers the path, yes?
No.
And then we see the path. Do we see the path continue, or does the path end with grass?
The path goes through this like tunnel like passageway, right? Through the trees.
Right.
At the end of it, there is a clearing with a beam of light coming down, hitting a patch of grass. You can't really see past that because it disappears out of visual sight.
Okay.
I think Borzan will cast Detect Evil.
Okay. What's the range on that?
30 feet. The duration, which is 10 minutes. I know if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend,
There's none
as
of
well
them.
as where it's located. I know if a place or object within 30 feet of me has been magically consecrated or desecrated.
From where you're currently standing, no.
How far is it to the clearing?
Probably about 150 feet.
What is Dropshanks doing? Is he stopping or?
You all stop to kind of perceive this moment, so he's just kind of like standing there with his backpack, kind of looking at you expectantly.
Did
We
you
must
all
go this
want
way.
me to check it out?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it up for 10 minutes, so it's not just standing. I'll let everybody else know. I
Alright.
don't detect any evil yet, but yeah,
It's just a patch of grass. How could it be evil?
Be on your guards. Evil grass.
Crabgrass.
Hmm.
Yeah.
True.
So
The evil of many
Okay,
garden.
I'm going to use a spell slot and use primeval awareness,
okay.
which will give me a minute. And that will tell me whether there are any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elemental, fae, fiends, or undead within 1 mile. Well, actually, I'm in my favorite terrain up to 6 miles.
Within 6
It
miles.
doesn't give the location or number, but yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yeah. Do you know like where they are? Is it just a yes or no, or is it like, mine's a little
I
shorter,
don't
but
know the
I know where they
location or
are.
number. I just know they're within 6 miles of us.
So
Do
it's
I
not
know?
something.
I'm assuming I would know the type.
They are within 6 miles of you, and there is a no doubt that it is fiendish.
I will share that with the group.
Neat.
Yes, indeedy.
I mean, 6 miles is pretty far. I feel like this clearing probably okay, and you should continue on.
That's within 6 miles. From here
Yeah.
to 6 miles.
6 miles. You
Well, I'm
sense
like,
it.
we're not going to find anything outstanding here.
You sense it fairly far out in your perception.
Okay.
Quite a ways.
We have plenty of time to contemplate dying then.
Well, I'm going to say we're not going to find out anything standing here, and I'll start forward.
The professor is already 50 feet ahead of you. Him and the fucking
He is in his own world.
Him and the battle snail are just fucking like taking a walk through the forest ahead of you.
Alright. You follow the smart guy.
Alright. So as you guys make your way down the path, you come about 3/4 of the way down the covered pathway here. Go ahead and make one more perception check for me as you exit out of this overgrowth and into the clearing. The patch of grass is in front of you now with a beam of light coming down, and there's something there.
Much better. I'm focused now.
Yeah, now we roll in. Got a 21 and a 22 here.
All right. So as you guys come into the clearing, you notice that there is a altar inside this pillar of light amongst the grass, and it's about, I don't know, 3.5, 4 foot tall, stone-like in nature, with kind of these like very thick vines growing up around it, but they don't go over the top, but they like come up around it like almost like a bowl type shape, but around the slab itself.
Any markings or indication of who this altar might be dedicated to?
There is no writing on the table anywhere that you can visibly see.
Well, again, nothing ominous about this.
There are You're too far away to make out what it is, but there are objects on top of the altar.
Ah.
Is my detect evil and good going off, or still returning with nothing?
It's not returning anything at this point.
All right. Well, slowly approach the altar.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm not even detecting it's consecrated.
As you get closer to the altar, Vorzan, you get a... It is not a good feeling. It is not a bad feeling. It's more of a neutrality kind of feeling, if that makes sense. It's kind of devoid of both good and evil.
So shrine to Dave from accounting.
Yeah, that guy. God damn it, Dave.
I'm sorry. I'm breaking the immersion.
I love it. I love it. As you guys get close enough, you begin to notice things on top of the altar that immediately start to shock you to the core. Breton, you see an old compass laying on top of the table, or on top of the altar. It's the kind that you can close like a pocket watch, but it's laid open and the arrow that would be pointing to north is missing. Lady Ikaria, there is a dead, dried, perfect replica of the moon blossom that you have in your hair. And Thalise, there is a tiny gold statuette of a canary sitting on the altar. And Vorzan, there is an amulet of Saloon laying with the intricate chain work coiled around the canary's feet. Not like choking it or anything, but it's like laid out and just kind of draped around. They don't seem to be laid out in any particular pattern, but they are all present, and they are all present within this confined space, inside this pillar of light.
Do I recognize this particular amulet?
It's Saloon. It's an amulet of Saloon.
Well, I mean, is it just like a generic one, or is it...
It's essentially just an iconography. It's kind of like, hey, this is my Saloon card. Peace be the journey, something like that.
Kind of like a St. Christopher medal,
Yeah, it's kind of like a challenge coin. So, and Dropshank kind of stops about 20 or so, 15, 20 feet away from the altar or pillar. And he's going to turn and he's going to look at you guys and he's like scratching his head and he's like, well, this wasn't here the last time I was here.
The altar or the things?
Oh, the altar.
Well,
The clearing was
500 years.
The clearing was here, but the altar was not here.
Well,
Look around and be like, break everything?
Yeah, don't love that it exists. It's freaking me out.
We destroy it with fire?
Or just take the things.
Then destroy it with fire? The rest of it?
I'm going to take the flower out of my hair and place it to the dead flower.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm.
As you step forward and you pluck the flower out of your hair, the blossom in your fingers when you pick it up this time, it gets extremely hot between your fingers. And the closer that you get to the pillar of light and the altar, the hotter the flower gets. Do you continue?
And if I take a step back,
It
does it cool off?
It gets slightly cooler, yes.
What do you think, guys? I tell them what's happening.
Well, if you found a fire flower, you should call Mario.
Who's Mario?
It's me, Mario.
We are not officially licensed by Nintendo.
I personally abhor Nintendo, but that's beside the point.
Man. So do you continue back to the?
Yeah, I'm gonna go place it on there. I'll just do it quickly before it burns my hand. I'm gonna find anything out standing there with it.
As you go to place the flower into the beam of light and like set it down on the altar, as you set it down, it evaporates into like this silvery moonlight, and it just kind of disappears.
Okay. Well, dang, I kind of like that little flower.
Well, easy come, easy go, I guess.
Is it really? The compass I received was branded into my skin.
Lady Akari.
Vorzan.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, Vorzan, noticing like her. I'm going to use Mage Hand and slowly pull the saloon amulet off.
Lady Akaria, when you pull your hand back,
Yeah.
the flesh from your wrist down is visibly missing. Missing.
Like, can I feel my hand or is it just gone?
You can move your fingers, but all you see are skeletal bones.
Sick. Cool.
Does it hurt?
No.
I'm like, okay, this is not. Yeah. Ew.
Spooky. I'm gonna leave that bird right the fuck where it is.
Vorzan, as your mage hand gets to the light, the fingers kind of reach in and go for the amulet, and it just evaporates.
The Mage Hand does?
Correct.
Is it like the light that's hitting this altar seems to be the damaging thing? Or it's like the items themselves proximity?
I'm going to slightly step off my DM podium for a second and talk to you player to player. And no one has physically touched any of the objects yet. So you're not sure what's going to happen with the light versus the objects themselves. You've only witnessed things piercing the light and then being drawn away from it again. So step back onto my podium now.
Well, when you put it that way,
I'm looking at my skeletal hand saying, I'm not reaching in there again.
kind of want to touch the
Attaching to
bird
my
now.
flesh.
Kind of want to touch that bird. Bird.
Yeah.
Word. Bird. Bird.
Well, I mean, if I roast my fucking hands off and I can't get a hand back from these fucking vampire aristocrats, then the souls were worthless. So I'm gonna touch the bird.
Okay. I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw, please.
We're historically good at these for sure.
Are you doing it with one hand or both?
Just one. Look good.
Okay. As you touch the physical object, not only do you see the flesh of your skin.
28, by the way.
Your hand visibly changes from a normal fleshy hand to a just skeletal bone. And as you pick up the canary, the tips of those bones start to erode away. But you've got it in your hand, but the longer you hold it, the more bone starts to erode away.
I'm gonna walk out of the altar range with the bird.
Okay. As you pull it out of the light, your hand stops evaporating. However, it is still a skeletal hand, and you still have some very much crumbled and worn spots in the bones in your hand.
But I got a bird statue.
But you have a bird statue.
I have canary ephemera now. Woo!
That's right. You sure do.
Okay. I'm gonna show it to the party. Well, I got it, but my hand is nothing.
You got fucking googly hand over here.
Why
Times two.
did Saloon not bless me with detect magic?
With
I
what?
don't know.
Detect magic.
With I have detect magic. I don't have dispel magic. I can cast detect magic.
Or dispel magic.
Yeah.
I can't dispel it. I can detect it though.
Yes, Eric.
I'm going to try and reach into the radius of light with the blade of my sunblade to try and pull out the amulet that Vornax was trying to put in there.
Okay. So you want to reach in and grab Vorzan's amulet?
Vorzan, sorry. Just try and like flip it out like if you're using a stick with the blade of the sunblade.
Okay. We're going to consider this a finesse move. Can you please make me a dexterity check?
And I have cast that spell whenever you get done and get to it.
Okay.
This is the absolute worst time for me to roll so poorly.
What did you roll?
I got a 2 on the dice for a total of 6. I am a dex character, and I rolled a fucking 2.
So as you turn the blade on its side, its beautiful sunblade properties glinting in the little bit of light that's hitting it, and you, as soon as you stick it into the beam of light coming down, your hand starts to just instantly heat up, like someone stuck it in a fire. And as you go underneath the amulet to go to pull it out, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw as your hand feels like it is on fire right now, holding your sunblade.
Okay, yeah, so I'm really good at these.
And I'll reach over and cast guidance on it.
Very good.
Awesome.
What'd you get?
So you said a Constitution saving throw, and guidance doesn't do a damn thing for saving throws.
You do have a +3 from me, though.
Yeah,
Also.
because he's got an aura.
Good. Great. Well, then you're +3 with my base 2, and that 3 on the dice brings me to 8.
Oof.
You drop your Sunblade in this pillar of light.
I reach in and grab it. Fuck you. I don't care.
Your hand from the elbow down goes into ghost, basic, skelly form. I'm going to need you to, your choice, make a strength check to pull it up out of the light while your arm basically feels like it's on fire. Or you can role play me a performance check with advantage and describe to me how you're going to get it out of there after dropping it like your hand was on fire.
As I've already pulled back, feeling the burns on my hand itself, no one can see them because of my mask of many faces and the glamours I cast upon myself regularly. Always looking perfect, always looking pristine. Knowing that I can keep the guys, I shove my hand back into the light and grab the hilt of the Sunblade. And I am pulling it out.
Okay, with advantage, please.
What button do I use? Okay, shift.
And if it's an ability, you get good.
So, my low roll was a 16 plus 12. So 28 for the disadvantage, but at advantage, natural 20, 32.
You, with a flourish, yank the Sunblade off of this tuft of green grass within this sparkling, radiant, almost pure heavenly light that comes down onto this space. And you pull it back out, and it's almost like that Sword in the Stone moment where right? And as you're holding the Sunblade, and all of you are looking at Breton do this, you can see his skeletal hand, even though he has cast Disguise Self. And that Sunblade is like on fire in your hand. It is still just white hot. But you got a hold of it.
Huh.
Is this where I try and do physics now, or do
I would like you to take 1 point of damage for holding the sword, please.
Okay, sure. As a Hexblade, I will pull the Sunblade into myself and tuck it away in its extra dimensional.
Fair enough. The burning stops.
Now, point of order. When I stuck my left hand in, that's where the tattoo of the compass was.
Ooh. That's a good point. Yeah. It's no longer visible. It's gone.
Did you use it right?
So 3 of us now have skeletal hands.
And as you look back at the table, Breton, your compass is also gone.
We should have left this shit alone.
When that flower I put in there evaporated, did anything happen to the dried one that was on the altar?
No.
Hmm.
Nope. But the closer you got to the light, the flower was almost burning your hand before you put it
Right.
into the light.
Hmm.
I'd like to recast Mask of Many Faces to cover my arm.
What happened with my detect magic spell when you get a chance?
I didn't catch what you said, Lisa. I'm sorry.
I said, when you get a chance, I did cast detect magic.
Does detect magic give you the school of magic?
Yes.
I believe it
I
does.
believe it does.
Okay. It's very much not Arcana, and the only thing that it could possibly be would be one of two things. It's either Divine Radiance or pure fucking evil.
But he wasn't detecting evil.
Correct.
Mm.
But he wasn't detecting good either.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mm.
Mm.
I should have left the bird here. Oh well, yeah. Made my decision.
Ah, yes. Choices.
It's about committing. That's fine.
You know what?
Okay.
If you're gonna go for it, sometimes you just gotta go all the
Now,
way.
what is it? When she detected magic, what was it that was glowing magic? Was it the altar itself?
So the
Items?
the altar and the pillar of light are not it's not an arcane based whatever it is, right? It feels divine in nature, and it's either extremely like holy or extremely unholy, but you can't get a sense of which one it is. And when you have your good and evil spell up, you feel confused almost. It's like you just keep getting this like crazy neutralic like feeling. Like something is physically blocking you from being able to tell what it is that you're trying to figure out. Like deadening your senses almost, Vorzan. And you know that something is interfering with your ability. Like your innate, divinity and how you cast your spells. Like there's definitely something blunting your ability.
I don't. I'm good. You guys good?
I don't know about good.
Well, three of us have skeletal hands now.
Yeah. High five. Anybody? High five.
Skelly bones, anyone? Skelly bones?
It's what all the young kids are doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a crazy tattoo. Only it's not
a new
tattoo.
fad. It's a new
Right.
fad.
It's like a tattoo. Only it's not a tattoo, right?
And speaking of tattoos, I don't know when you left, but Brenton's tattoo was burned away. Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, how's mine looking, by the way?
Breton's compass tattoo is no longer there. It depends, Thalise, it depends on which arm you stuck into the light. If it's
The right one.
Your main
I think
hand,
the left arm is the tattoo, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's left hand should have the tattoo on it.
Yeah.
Everyone who has a tattoo.
So it's still there despite the
Correct.
bird movement. Okay.
Correct.
Cool.
I'm gonna use my staff of healing.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my staff of healing and use a charge in it, try to like maybe touch one of their hands with it and cast a lesser restoration to.
Okay. You see the energy flow from you and through you, and Vorzan, could you give me another wisdom check, please? But do it at advantage this time. Were you watching Lady Ikaria when she placed the moon blossom into the light? Would your character have been watching this process? Do you feel?
Yeah, I would have been paying attention to that.
Okay, go ahead and do so at advantage for me.
Wisdom's just a wisdom check.
Yep.
$22 for the first one.
Okay.
Would do better. Nope. 9. So 22 was
22? Okay.
2.
You feel this very familiar, like warm feeling envelop your mind. And you feel a very cold breeze pushing at your face from the direction of the pillar. Almost forcefully pushing your face.
Resisting it?
Like pushing at your body in the opposite direction.
So does the spell just not get off or what?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
So does the spell just not happen or?
No, it happens. But it's like there's something. So Saloon a lot of times will speak to you in different ways. And you just get the sense that something or someone is telling you or like pushing you away from this altar. Is what you're getting.
Okay.
It's not a.
Yeah, I'm done with altar.
It's not like a hey knocking on your head and speaking in your ear and saying, "Hey, walk away, dummy." But it's the gist of the feeling you would get.
Okay. So does that lesser restoration do anything for?
It does not. It does not.
Well, that's all I got. I'm done. I want to leave.
Yeah, I picked up this cool new skeleton hand. I'm done here.
Unless anybody wants to be full skeleton.
You raise a good point.
And the king.
What if we have to get through a skeleton-shaped hole in the future? You're gonna be wishing you did.
It's true.
I'll have to come back.
That's true. That's true.
True. Yeah,
Very
you can always backtrack. Pick up the skeleton buff.
Right.
Oh man, was my ring gone? I'm assuming that was on that hand.
Yeah. Anything that was on your flesh is no longer there. You only have a skeletal hand. That's it.
I mean, it wasn't magical, but it was my
Your
family.
signet ring.
Yes.
No hand, only zoom.
That is yeah.
I mean, do I see the ring inside the circle of light?
No.
Gone.
No. You look up and the professor is walking around the pillar and like off and through the clearing. He didn't say a word. Just off he goes.
All right. I want my hand back. Okay. Maybe
I mean, it still
out of this
works.
area.
It's still
still
does
functional.
hand things.
Still functional. You just don't have any flesh on it.
It's just 10% cooler now.
It is 10% cooler.
I do have some vanity, as a woman. Like,
of course you do.
My hand.
Now you have a skeletal hand to show for it.
Now you can go shopping for some really, really beautiful gloves.
Yeah. You're mysterious now.
Right.
You have a secret.
We will call you Mystique.
I know.
Yeah. It's Michael Jackson ass. One glove wear.
To answer your question, Breton, no. Whatever this is not disguisable by magical means.
Skeleton magic. Alright, I'm voting to press on.
Wisdom saving throw. At disadvantage.
For what? For your vanity?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I can still feel my hand, even though so I'm thinking this is not a permanent. Maybe it's not a permanent.
What did you
Anyway,
get,
I'm going on.
4.
You see your friend, kind of sit down on the ground and start openly weeping at the sight of his hand.
Yeesh.
There, but yeah.
Yes. Like, the dirt in front of him is starting to get wet with his tears.
Well, buddy, we're not getting our hands back by standing around here, so...
Yeah. Buck up, sunshine.
You have yourself a good cry. And you probably don't want to be left here in the clearing by yourself. That would probably be worse. Not knowing what is around.
Yeah, we don't know if that 6 miles is still 6 miles, so we...
Yeah.
If you would, please, for failing your wisdom check, the next time you make an attack that involves that hand, you will make that attack at disadvantage.
Here's the problem.
All of us? Great.
Breton has already set aside this sunblade, setting it off to the side, the boots, and the dress that Phelan made him. Having lost their damn mind, walks into the pillar of light.
Alright, cool.
Oh, shit. Okay. That's a choice.
What the hell are you doing?
That's a choice. Hold on a minute. Ooh, boy. Hold on. 2, 3.
Okay.
I mean, think of it this way. Do you want to be alive, maybe, and an uglier skeleton? That sounds worse.
As you take 6d12 damage,
Sick.
that's 36 points of damage there, sir.
Mm-hmm.
As you all watch Breton walk into the pillar of light, and instantly his entire body is devoid of flesh.
Cool.
Joe, you are muted.
Alright, as I saw him going in, I was trying to say knowing I couldn't get to him to stop him, but I can get to him and I could, more than would cast Aura of Life.
Okay.
So it's life-preserving energy radiates from me in a warrior era. Aura with a 30-foot radius, those spell in. Each non-hostile creature in the aura, including you, is resistant to necrotic damage, and its hit point maximum can't be reduced. And they gain 1 hit point. So I don't know if that was necrotic damage.
Breton, instead of taking 36 damage, please half that. You still turn into a skeleton. And as you step fully into the pillar of light, Breton, turning into a skeleton, you hear a voice in the back of your head, which is now a skeleton head. And all it says is, "Oh dear boy, you couldn't just leave well enough alone, could you? Now, for the rest of your days here in Voh, you shall be skinless." And you just hear this fading chuckle.
Oh my God.
I grabbed the other items off the podium.
Okay, fair enough.
And I dragged them out.
Let's see, that is 15.
Well, I need to work on my Hero Forge again.
25, 31. 16 points of necrotic damage, please.
Yep.
Wow.
Do you step back out of the pillar of light?
Sure.
Okay. The burning sensation that your entire body just experienced, like you stepped into a vat of acid, slowly starts to diminish. But from head to toe, you are a walking, talking, fully functional skeleton of your former self.
Damn, that rules.
Just imagine that, like, the skeleton still has all the makeup on.
That would be very. What's the movie where they cross the little the bridge made of leaves? Like oh my God, it's a Latin American movie where the kid plays the damn guitar and like he's got to go save his family so that the picture comes back so that his family doesn't completely disappear. Anyways, that's the way that's the skeletons in that movie. The makeup is all still there.
You could have just said like a Day of the Dead skeleton.
I could have said that, but it wouldn't be what was in my head.
You're talking about that Pixar movie?
The animated one? Yeah.
Yes. It's like
Coco or something?
Yeah, Coco. I actually think that's the name.
If you would have started with the animated part, difference.
Yeah, you know. I like to take the long way around a lot.
Like in my mind was trying to the future with
it sounded like a Stephen King
Crossroads
movie.
with Ralph Macchio.
Yeah,
And then Stand By Me for some reason.
That's fair. That's fair. So, yeah. Breton,
Well, Breton,
you have all
you used
of
to be pretty.
Now he's a skeleton.
And the clothes are burned off. I'm assuming if my ring disappeared.
I took my clothes off.
You did. Just a skeleton standing there with your stuff in a little pile
And
on
I'm
the
gonna
ground.
say, why would you do that?
Can't take anything else.
He didn't hear that.
No one can take anything else.
That's fair. That's fair. Kind of.
All right. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
I don't feel quite so bad about my figured hand now.
As you guys, as you exit the clearing, there's another path on the other side of the clearing opposite of the Pillar of Light. And there we go. It exits back into the forest. It is overgrown just like the one before. And you guys disappear into the canopy of trees. With a very concerned and just this side of horrified Dropshank, who's just looking at Breton and shaking his head.
Yeah, homie has not said anything. Huh?
I was gonna offer you some my tea, which maybe could have helped, but I can't fix that. Nope. And he's just gonna.
I will take some of the tea.
Let's get to where we're gonna stop for the night, and I'll make you some tea over the fire.
Okay.
So as you guys go for another, hour, and then an hour and a half, and the sun starts to fade through the canopy, and it starts to get, more toward dusk. Dropshank advises that he feels like you should probably be looking for somewhere to set up camp.
You had a great clearing back there.
You did. You did. You sure did.
I will try to scout out a good place.
All right, go ahead and
Natural,
roll me.
Favored terrain, all that.
Sure. Hit it and get it.
What would you like me to roll?
Can you roll a perception check with advantage?
Uh, 19.
Takes you about 10 minutes, but you find a nice little spot between like a 4-poster of trees that would serve as a good spot to kind of build a little encampment. Seems pretty flat.
Seems good enough to me.
So, I mean, well, I can help with that too. I can cast Lehman's tiny hut for us to rest in for 8 hours.
That's even better.
Good, because there's a fiend somewhere.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I mean, that spell's not active, but I'm assuming it's still in the area.
Oh, it probably wasn't going anywhere. Who knows?
Well, that was interesting. What have we learned? Nothing.
Don't touch things.
Indeed.
High risk, high reward, or high risk, no reward.
I got a cool statue out of it. I don't know about y'all. I don't know what that means.
I lost my flower and the flesh on my hand.
Yeah, honestly, I'm made out like a bandit. I got this cool hand.
Yeah.
I got a cool statue.
What could you possibly want more of?
I know. This is a net win.
Right? All right, so do you cast the tiny hut there, Vorzan?
Yeah, I'll cast it.
Okay.
It's a 10-foot radius, so 20 foot across.
Okay. Comfortable enough to fit you all inside of. And as you're getting things set up, and the professor has kind of tucked himself into the corner, and he's again got his satchel out, and he's just kind of tinkering with, some of the odds and ends that are in his pack that he, messes with. And he looks over at Breton, and he's like, maybe next time you should just follow me and keep walking. And then he just goes back to doing what he was doing.
Breton, does Breton share with the voice in his headset at all? Or has he been just keeping to himself?
That's fair. I didn't think about that. The skeleton's just staring at you, apparently.
Does the skeleton
Say
have a
Vorzan
tongue?
would kind of like if Vorzan knew what the voice said, try to say, well, it sounds like while you're here, you're going to be a skeleton. If you make it out, you can be restored. So that's motivation, but I don't know if I know that or that's Vorzan.
If he chooses to tell you that, yes.
Maybe if we get back to the obtuse owl, we won't be in the tower. Maybe there's some restoration waiting for us there.
It's possible.
I hope so.
It's very possible. Never know. So, as you guys are settling down for the evening, is there anything anybody would like to do?
I'm good. I'm vibing.
All right, Felice, you go off to sleep and cuddle your newfound skelly hand.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything cool about the statue? I should probably take a look at that. Nothing.
There's no like chiseling or writing on it. It's a perfect replica of the canary that's on your tattoo. But it's just kind of gold colored. Doesn't really do anything. It just kind of exists. Kind of reminds you of a time long ago in a forgery. Clanging some metal together. Anything anybody else would like to do for the evening?
I'd like to silently, because I feel kind of odd doing it, but I want to offer up a little prayer to Saloon and thank her for the flower and apologize for losing it.
Vorzan would be happy.
Would be happy?
Yeah, would be happy to assist if she wants.
That's between you guys. If she does it quietly, then that's up to y'all.
Yeah, I probably asked him to tell him what I'd like to thank her and apologize for losing it. So I will tell you what my intentions are.
Okay. So since he's going to assist you in your prayers, could you please make a wisdom saving throw for me, please, with advantage?
Certainly.
As you close your eyes and you offer up your little prayer, you suddenly feel like your consciousness is sucked out of your body. And you feel like you're traversing this like interstellar escape. And you just see these like balls of fire rocketing past you. Just one right after another. Star after star after star. Just zip, 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 past you. And the sound just gets more muffled and more muffled and more muffled until you snap out of that and you're standing next to a lake. And it's pitch black outside, except for this silvery dancing moonlight across this mirror flat lake. And you glance up and you see this beautiful, thick, full crescent moon just right there in the sky. And you glance back down and you look out over the water, and there is somebody standing on the moonlight in the water.
Okay. I will drop to my knees, I guess, trying to be respectful.
You watch as they extend their hand to you and just stand there expectantly.
Like I'm supposed to walk on the water?
You could
Okay.
you could surmise that.
I will give it a try.
You walk out onto the water as if you were walking on dry land. And standing in front of you is this silvery, white-haired, absolutely gorgeous figure. Somewhat amorphous as it shifts back and forth. But the hand is very warm and inviting. And they take their finger and they trace your hair and they pull it out of your face. And they look down at your hand, your left hand. And you see their
It's
finger.
my right hand.
Or excuse me, your right hand. And you watch as their finger lights up. And she's going to trace the outside of your arm down to your hand. And as you watch their finger go, this like silvery light shines over your arm. And where the skeletal hand was, your hand and your arm reappear under this light back to the way it was. And your ring comes back onto your finger. And they're gonna look at you and touch your chin and turn your chin upwards toward them because they're very much taller than you are.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this radiance is just like enveloping you and like cascading all around you. The moonlight so silvery and inviting. And you're gonna hear one word as they're touching your chin, looking at you eye to eye. And that word is listen. Did you catch it?
I didn't catch it.
Okay, listen.
Okay.
And with that, she's going to pull her fingers back, and you're going to all the lights go past you, and you take a deep breath. Vorzan, you'll visibly see this as she comes back. Her eyes were almost like this white, silvery look. And she comes back to consciousness, sitting right next to him in the Leomund's tiny hut, arm still a skeleton.
Aw. But that's okay. I'm probably weeping because that was probably my first encounter with anything like that. So I'm just like shaking.
So,
No, I will offer you I have a flask with a little bit of poured in from the cavern and offer it to you. And you're like, I've seen that before. You have been touched.
And I'm nod. I still can't
This
speak.
will help.
I'm just, yeah, it was profound. Okay.
Okay. Anything else anyone would like to do?
I will tell him she spoke to me.
Sorry, what was that?
She spoke to me.
And I will just
She,
kind of nod. You know, it was wonderful, wasn't it?
I've never felt anything like it. And I'm going to go outside. I need a moment and I want to go outside and listen.
Okay, fair enough.
Wow, that was awesome.
I'll look at Akaria and say, see, I told you better than Oregon.
He did say that, didn't he? I forgot all about that. Saloon, better than an orgasm.
You and say, oh, yeah. I'm going to look back at you and say, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's gonna go outside for a smoke, is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's perfect. That's perfect. All right, so as the surroundings quiet down for the evening, Dropshank is curled up next to his pack, snoring his little heart out. The professor has fallen asleep on top of the little battle slug. He's got his coat kind of pulled over him, sawing logs. Breton is dejected, sad, and internally tortured, staring at the side of the dome. And Thalise has found her way to sleep at some point.
Does Breton put his clothes back on, or does he just walk around?
Carrying them.
It's fair. And hearing no other issues or needs for the evening,
I would offer to store them in my bag for safekeeping. We'll keep them safe from weather, and decay, and
So,
moisture.
can we see through Breton, like see his organs, or does he have organs?
all you see is a skeletal figure. That's it.
Wow.
Where his eyes would be are sockets.
Wow. Well, he did speak to us. He has the ability of speech.
Oh yeah. Yep. Everything else
All right,
appears to be normal. It's just skeleton.
So I'm going to keep watch outside the door. I'm just going to do my little meditation reverie thing where I'm still aware and
Okay.
just think about what happened, but also kind of listening and keeping watch with part of the rest of my consciousness.
Okay.
Make sure nothing sneaks up on us.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me if you would for your watch.
Do I even require sleep anymore? Or just a period of time I'm not doing anything?
I would call
That
it
is
more
20
like a 4-hour stasis.
24.
24. Okay. I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. As you guys drift off to sleep, Breton, it's so difficult impossible. How can I make the day when the day is me? How can I be anything but the beautiful butterfly that I was? How do I face tomorrow? Hell, how do I face now? What do I do? Where do I turn? What becomes of me now? I don't understand. I don't know. Please make me a wisdom check.
$15.
15. Eventually, Breton, out of pure mental exhaustion, you enter a almost catatonic-like stasis state. You see brief flashes of shadow and light passing through your mind's eye, until you are sitting on a very large tree stump. There is a large silvery moon in the night sky. And it is shining like a spotlight down upon you sitting on this tree stump. And you sit there and you watch as out of the moon you see this like twisting, reaching hand coming down towards you. And it's not like ominous, but more like an inviting stretch, an invitation. Do you accept it?
I ignite the sunblade.
As you go to call forth the sunblade, it appears in your hand, but it doesn't light. Still expectantly, silently, ethereal. Calm.
Breton is right, currently destroyed. He cannot be in the presence of beauty. He will try and turn and run away.
Okay. As you turn and jump off of the stump, when your feet go to hit the ground in front of you to run, you feel yourself like stuck in midair. Your shoulders slump, as all you want to do is escape this moment because that is how you feel. And from right behind your shoulders, you hear a soft voice. Breton, my dear sweet boy. Please, talk with me. And this voice is like so familiar to you. It's almost joy and impactful in your mind as you know this voice. This voice you heard your entire life growing up before you made the decisions that you made and left and lost your memories for years to come. It's the voice of your mother, Breton, calling for you to turn around. My sweet boy, my sweet child, pardon my pronoun assessment. Please, I only have but a few moments. They
Trying to
Be
imagine
chilled.
They do not
how-
forcibly turn you around. They leave you in the direction you wish to face.
I'm trying to imagine how he's processing to have any sort of voice. But it is just a scream of anguish that turns into choking tears.
And you feel this hand on where your shoulder would be. But you perceive it as on your shoulder, right? So the sensation of a touch on your shoulder would be just like if everything was normal. And it's soft. It feels caring. Please, my son. Let me help you.
As his knees pull up into his chest, he at least tries to look over his shoulder.
And as you turn to look, you see the visage of your mother standing there with her hand on your shoulder. And she reaches forward as she kind of moves around your side. And she takes you by your left arm. And she runs her hand down your shoulder and opens her palm right across where your compass would be. And she says, "My dear sweet child, you have long enough suffered with the inability to remember. You have suffered long enough with the not knowing. Breton, I am sorry from the bottom of my heart that I was not there in your darkest hours to guide you away from all of the treachery in life. But if you can forgive me for those moments when I was not able to be there for you, I promise you that I will do all that I can to see you and your friends through this tragedy." And as you look down at your arm, you see your compass reappear on your arm. Your skeletal figure still everywhere else except for your forearm where your compass lies. Take this gift. I know that it is not all that you desire, but this is what I have power to give you in this space. And know that I am with you always, and that I will do my best to guide you forward. And she's going to reach up and kiss your cheek. And she's going to run her fingers along your cheekbone. And you're going to see tears slowly start to go down her face as she releases you and steps back, disappears into the moonlight. And you immediately snap out of your catatonic state. And you look down at your arm, and where she touched your forearm, your arm has been restored and your compass returned. But the rest of you as it was. Forzan. As you lie there sleeping, at whatever point you make it to sleep, you find yourself sitting in a small boat, just rowing quietly. The moonlight cascading down across you. The sounds of nature all around. And there is a peace in your heart all around you. And you look up, and sitting across from you in the boat there is a figure sitting there. Quietly. Just looking at you. And it just has this like very beautiful ethereal look to it. One sec. You, my child, have done more good for these people in the short amount of time that you have been with them than you will ever know. Continue your path, continue your devout following, and you will have my blessing. Never be jealous of someone else's blessings bestowed upon them. Do you not believe that I am great enough to love more than just yourself? And she waits for an answer.
Forzan kind of hang his head down, kind of as she. Yeah, yes, of course.
And she's
Forgive me.
She's gonna touch your shoulder, and she's gonna bring your head back up, and she's gonna smile. It is okay. Just know that I am with you. And where I may not be able to interject directly with where you currently are, I will give you my blessings and do all that I can to see you through. Continue to stay faithful. And watch out for your friends.
Wow.
And with a small smile, she's going to look at you and say, and tell your friend Lady Ikaria to listen. And then you're going to snap back out of your dream and fall back asleep. And as the warm morning sunshine starts to beat down through the canopy of the trees, striking the tiny hut that you all are sleeping in, you all begin to awaken to a brand new day here in the jungle in the Tower of Voh. And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Wow.
So, everybody in the chat who has stuck with us tonight to watch another episode of the Tower of Voh here on Needs More Dragons Twitch, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I hope that you enjoyed this mostly RP session tonight. Again, we were short one of our cast members, so we're not going to get too much farther into this tonight, especially with what time it is. And we thank you, and next time we will finish the arc into the jungle. So thank you for watching, and we hope you have a wonderful night, have a wonderful week, and we will see you in 2 weeks here on the channel for the ending of this arc. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening.